Hey guys, Liquid here, and welcome back. Let's answer some questions. As always, post questions below, and I shall answer them next week. Let's get started. Courage asks, have you ever heard of Borderlands? And if you have, do you plan on playing it in the future? I have heard of Borderlands, yes. I played very little of it, like like a couple of years ago. I had played it with a fellow YouTuber, J012345678912. I don't think we weren't recording or anything, but I have played it very little of it. But if you're asking about a let's play, there are no current plans, definitely. But when all is said and done, and I get the plans that I have now out of the way or something, I could possibly look into it. Flame Gamer Hotspot 2000 asks, have you decided to monetize your videos? Now, this question is a bit odd to me. I'll be honest, because the thing is, I have I'm not sure if something's happened that makes him think that I've just suddenly started monetizing my videos, because I have been I've been monetizing my videos since 2013 when I first joined TGN, and have been monetizing them ever since. I'm currently with the company known as Curse. Ursula Quinn, who, as I understand it, is the commenter who in previous videos went by John Rady, asks, will you play the Batman Arkham City Origins DLC stories? Yes, eventually I will. I know it's been a while since I played Arkham City, so I can't really remember too well how it all went, but I do remember that there were DLC that I think I just kind of like skipped out on, and I might have said eventually I'll get around to it. And I can't give like a time frame as to when I'll do that, but I will get around to that at some point. But might not be anytime soon. And as well as I know Mafia 2. I let's play that, and that had some DLC that I also did not do, but you know give it enough time, that stuff will come eventually. What's my least favorite superhero movie? Trying to think honestly. I would possibly say the Ang Lee Hulk film, but honestly, it's been so long since I ever saw that, and I don't think I've even seen it all the way through. I've only seen like very little bits of it. Um, that's the only one I can really think of that I saw it and I was just like, or that's the only one that I can think of that I have like a somewhat negative reaction to when I think of it. I wasn't too big into the Iron Man films. I enjoyed Iron Man 1, but Iron Man 2, I don't know, was kind of boring. But I was also watching it in a time when I was just watching so many movies like a day. I'm not sure, but that might have been part of it. Well, I played the Batman Telltale series. Yes, eventually. I actually got. I don't actually think I have it, but a friend of mine was telling me about this site called G2A, which is like you can get Steam games on very very nice deals, and I got like the Minecraft Telltale series, but I will get around to the Batman thing eventually, because I did really enjoy The Walking Dead, so I think that could be a fun thing to do. What are my thoughts on Sesame Street? I think that it's, I guess, a good program for children to learn things and stuff. I'm not even when I was like a young child. I never really watched Sesame Street. I might see it, flipping through channels or something, but never really watched it too much. Why do I not go to the theater anymore? I think I kind of went into this last time. If you go to certain one of my questions, I might have gone into this a little bit, but I just not really haven't really been interested in too many of the movies that have been coming out. They all just sort of blend together if I'm completely honest. Like the last film that I saw was in theaters. That was an American film. Was Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Even before that, I'm not sure. I think the last film I might have seen was like X-Men: Days of Future Past or something. Like, not that I don't like the movies, but just like every time I see like a new movie trailer, I just I think they look cool, but I think they look cool in the same way that all the other movies have been cool. I guess if that makes any sense. So I just haven't really had anything that's like like, oh man, I gotta get to the theater and watch that. Like I know in one of my old videos, I remember I was looking through like my Spider-Man 3 Let's Play, and I remember like talking about how I had seen like an Amazing Spider-Man trailer, and I sounded really excited for it. But honestly, that just doesn't really happen anymore. Like, the movies are the movies. Like, I've just become kind of disconnected to them. But like I said, like in the last time, like I have like this year I have seen three like anime movies that were released. I saw Princess Mononoke in January, and I think in March or I think May, I think I saw Your Name or Kimi no Nawa, and I think in June I saw My Neighbor Totoro. My least favorite song. Look up a song called no, actually no, I was gonna say I was gonna say Freaks by Broken Side, but honestly, it's the type of thing where like if I listen to Freaks by Broken Side, I almost kind of do enjoy it, just kind of on the hilarity. Like, it's so funny that I almost do enjoy it. But honestly, this might be a kind of like a unpopular opinion, but a lot of modern music, I'm not really big a fan of. Like, just the other day, I was like listening to some Taylor Swift, and it's the type of thing where when I listen to like a lot of music like that, I need to wash it out with something else. Like, not that I'm like not trying to like diss the artist or talk about them in a bad light or something, but I just it's it's beyond my comprehension, if that makes sense. Like, I remember watching the television show Glee, and it was the type of thing where I just had to skip all the music parts because I just could not take it. Like, I know that's not really a song, but might narrow it down a little bit. Do I like bad or happy endings in movies? I would say I prefer happy endings. I would say I don't really mind whether it's a happy or a bad ending as long as it is an ending. Like I feel like a lot of things end in a way that's they set it up for a sequel, or it's like a cliffhanger, or it's like use your imagination to figure out what happened. Like, I like a very concrete ending where you know what happened. My thoughts on the Ghostbusters reboot. I'm assuming that you're talking about the one that came out last year. I think that was like an all women Ghostbusters. I don't really have any thoughts on it. I've not seen it, and I was never really big into the Ghostbusters, ever. Like, I've seen the very first one, but it's the type of thing where I don't. This is went over my radar. What show do I wish was canceled? Honestly, I do not really watch television anymore, and so I really cannot say. Like, 'cause I don't even know what shows are on these days. Well, when will I play Arkham Knight? I cannot give an answer to that. It probably will not be anytime soon, though. Like, something where I got a very large backlog of videos where even if I recorded it today, it wouldn't be coming out for some time. But I would just stay, be patient, and be on the lookout, because it will come eventually. But I cannot give any resolute answer. What are my thoughts on games being exclusive to certain consoles like Spider-Man PS4? I guess like, in a perfect world, and I guess all things would be, multi-platform for everything. But or I guess in that world, we probably just get to a point where like there's only one console. But it doesn't really grind my gears or anything. You know, something where like like I've never really been one to get Xbox consoles, and so I guess I do sometimes feel like, oh man, it would be nice to like play Halo or something, but at the same time, I just never really have felt that, where I don't think there's really ever been an Xbox exclusive that I've just been like, oh man, I need to play that. Like or maybe like to take it from a different angle, like Zelda, like the new Zelda Breath of the Wild. I would like to play that, but do I really want to get like a Nintendo Switch for it? Like if I could just play it on my PC, which technically I can with emulation, that would be nice. Um, like I understand like why games are exclusive and whatnot, but you know I don't think anyone would argue that it's necessarily helps the games or anything. Oh, okay. So Mr. Ultimate, um, he had asked me about what my thoughts were on Dragon Ball and JoJo's Adventure, um, which I talked about Dragon Ball last time, so I put that up for him. No, he just says JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I have not seen or read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I know that it's of recent anime. I know that it's been very popular and a lot of people have been following it. But I need to check it out sometime, and I do intend to check it out sometime. But I have not done so. I know that it's been going on for a while, and so if I were to check it out, I might. I'm the type of person where when I check out like a franchise, I typically like to start at the beginning. So I might go back to like the '80s and check that out. Do Bob asks, "What is your ethnicity, like Irish or German, etc.?" Um, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Like I've been told a lot of things, like English, Irish, Dutch, or something like that. And we actually do have a like a family book, like a family ancestry book, in which it says that apparently, like it traces my ancestors back to like the 16 or 1700s, and it mentions them being like Huguenots, like French people living in an area, like living in the Black Marsh area of Germany or something. Which is interesting. But at this time, I live in the United States of America, which I was born in, and have never left. Also asks, having achieved a reasonable level of fluency in Japanese, do you plan on visiting Japan someday, and what would you like to do over there? Now, I want to say that I am flattered that of your use of the word fluency to speak about my Japanese thing. Like when I think about my Japanese skill, like to me, there's still a lot to go. It's the type of thing where in languages, when you hear somebody speak any amount of a language that you don't understand, it just it sounds like, oh man, they're speaking so well. But do I plan on visiting Japan? I did. If you go back, I think 2 videos, I covered this. In which the answer was basically yes. Or not necessarily yes. Like it's not really something that like I'm dying to do, but it is something that I think would be a nice thing to do. And basically, I mentioned in that video, there's this thing called woofing, WWOOFING, which is like worldwide opportunities in organic farms or something. And where basically you do work on a farm in a place, and the owner of the farm, will let you like live with them. And so you're basically exchanging work for shelter, which is a very interesting little concept. And you can do it in any country. Like you can do it in your home country. You don't necessarily need to travel to a foreign place like Japan. If you just want to experience that, you can do it in your own country, which is a very neat thing. So I have like thought about checking that out. What would I do? I think like one thing a lot of people do is they go to I think Akihabara, which is like the is our saying like big shopping district basically, and get things that you couldn't really buy in America, or would be much more expensive in America, like old Japanese games or something. And I know in the other video I also mentioned one thing that I think would be interesting would be to climb Mount Fuji. as well as climbed the Tokyo Skytree, which is like the tallest building in Japan. And in the other video, I also mentioned 2 other mountains. Like if you look it up, you can find like the 3 holy mountains of Japan or something, which would be interesting to like have climbed them all or something. Also, is there any reason you speak the way you do? You have a posh American accent with a little bit of Irish in it. I'm English myself. This is actually kind of a neat question. Like I have gotten comments on my accent every now and then. I would say that the reason for any weirdness in my ways of speaking would be that starting in 2009, that's when I met the YouTuber Child from the Damned, who was a YouTuber from the West Midlands of England, and ever since then, I've met more people from around England. And I would say that probably the person that has influenced my way of speaking the most is the YouTuber known as Bus Starkiller, who actually posted a question in a recent Q&A video. But as I understand, he's actually English by birth, but has lived in Ireland for a lot of his life, and through him I've learned a lot of Irish expressions, that I use a lot, for the people that understand it. If you're talking to me in private or something, I'll probably say something like, "Oh, sure, look it," or "Oh, what's the story?" A little crack, CRAIC, "Oh man, let's have the crack." Oh man, that was some good crack. I do say things like that quite often, depending on who I'm speaking to, or instead of saying yes, I might say AYE. But again, it depends who I'm speaking to. If I'm speaking to an American person, I probably will just say yes or something like that. But if there is any weirdness in my accent or anything, that's probably why, because I've just spoken with a lot of people from the British Isles. Virgil Hilt asks, you probably answered this before, but what sign are you? I won't ask for an actual birth date in case you find it personal, but if you don't, I'd like to know. I'm not really into things like that. I don't really believe in astrology and whatnot, but I am a Leo. My birthday was just a couple weeks ago, actually, on August 9th. Magma Ascending asks, do you have a current gen console? Now, the funny thing about this is, I actually do own a PS4, but I have not really ever used it. It's the type of thing where I got it some time ago, but and I will use it eventually, for Let's Plays and whatnot, but I just have not I've just had other priorities in my hobby, I guess. Matthew Rodriguez asks, I'm not sure, is this a question? You were the first person I ever subscribed to, and I've been subscribed to since Let's Play Spider-Man the movie game. I think you're the best and deserve a couple mil subs, unlike a lot of YouTubers that don't even try. But for the question, do you prefer watching any other really big YouTubers like PewDiePie or Nigahiga, etc.? Keep up the good work, man. Thank you very much for your comment. It means a lot, for people to, that you stuck around and whatnot, and makes it worth doing, really. Do I watch any other big YouTubers like PewDiePie or Nigahiga? I used to watch Nigahiga back in the day. He was honestly one of the very first YouTubers that I watched, because he's been doing it for a while. He, if you look back at his old videos, he started in 2006 or something. And so back in the day, I would watch him. Back in the day, I would watch him quite a lot, but I've not watched him for quite a while. PewDiePie, I've never been into. I've just never really watched him. If you one or two Q&A videos, I talk about the YouTubers that I do watch, and I mentioned that I just don't really watch Let's Players too much. So like PewDiePie would be a Let's Player, and I wouldn't really watch him too much. And if like I said, like I do have another video where Q&A video where I do go into more depth about the videos that I watch. Actually, let me just see, right? So making sure that this is all the questions, because I have had it not show all the questions before. Or I think this is that is it. Where was I? Spider Matty asks, this is less of a question and more of a suggestion, but have you ever thought of, instead of Let's Play game title part 24, placeholder number, finale, you use Let's Play game title finale, description that you usually put at the end of your titles? As in replacing part with finale on your final episode so you can add your usual end descriptions. I must admit, when I first read that, I was kind of stunned, honestly, because that is something that I never, like you say, like, have you ever thought, like, no, it's never crossed my mind that someone would even, I guess, think of that, like I would see my videos and think, huh, maybe he should put Let's Play finale, blah, blah. But so let me try to think like what you're actually saying. Like, currently, I would put Let's Play game title part 24. But you're basically saying, recommending that I take away the part in total. I see what you're saying, and it does, like, I guess maybe might make the title look a little better. But for me, it is still, I guess, numbering all the, like, you're numbering like the first 23 parts. I feel like the last one should be numbered as well, if that makes sense. But because for me, like, because in the past, all my the final part of my Let's Plays has always just been finale, and to me that is the description, I guess, like that is the description of the video. It's the finale. But it is like an interesting suggestion, I guess, that you have, and I might think about it. But I am not compelled to change it immediately or anything. But thank you for the suggestion, and it shows that people are thinking, like, watching my videos, and I guess devout to think about them and whatnot. Green Cheese asks, can you play Spider-Man PS4 when it comes out? Yes. I almost wonder if he's asking this on purpose, because this is one of those ones that I've been asked. I'm pretty sure like every Q&A video, like, probably just get to a point where I'll just start responding in, just directly responding to the person. And finally, Anuknak LPs asks, quite a question that I've actually been waiting, enjoyed, was 今読んでいる漫画は何ですか？読んだ小説のおすすめはありますか？返事を待ってます。よろしく. Basically asks, what manga am I reading now? And of the novels that I've read, what do I recommend? Or do I have any recommendations? He's waiting for the response. So right now I'm actually kind of in between manga, where I recently finished I've been reading a lot. Like, I'll just go back to my anime page, my anime list page, right? And it's a completed, plan to read. If you look at my completed thing, you'll notice I've read a lot of manga. Like, a lot of the manga that I've read is by Osamu Tezuka, who's been basically one of the early fellows of manga. And I've just been kind of on a kick reading his stuff. Last one I read was Unico. which is about this little unicorn fellow. One that I would really recommend is probably my favorite by him was this here, Apollo no Uta, Apollo's song, which was a really really good. Honestly, the art, everything about it. Like it was the type of thing where when I read it, I could hear music alongside it. Like it was such a certain parts were just so psychedelic where I could just hear, like beams or something. Like it was really really good manga, and I really recommend it. And a lot of the manga that I've read, you'll notice is very short. Like this is only 3 volumes. Like rather than I just tend to kind of prefer, like reading a one shot or so rather than just watching reading like a gajillion volumes. One I'll probably read next is, let's see, maybe wait, do I actually have it on here? There's one called like the Euphrates Tree, which I might check out. Also, ones that are interesting to me are, it's like this here is my plan to read. Ayako, I've heard very good things about. Barbara, might check out some of these. And then you have Hinotori, which I think I'm not sure if I actually have the right one added to my list, but I've not read this, but I've heard that it's considered one of the greatest manga of all time, if not honestly just one of the, like I've heard nothing but praise for it. It's I understand it like Osamu Tezuka, he basically considered this to be his life's work, and unfortunately he never got to complete it because he died before completing it. But I've heard that it's one of the greatest manga, if not one of the greatest works of fiction of all time. So I would like to read that at some point. And he also asks, what novel do I recommend? Now I would probably say of the novels that I've read, the ones that I would probably actually have a list here, a very very poorly put together list of all the novels that I read. It's here. Here is it's like a modern translation of well, the Japanese title is like the Tale of the Bamboo. It was like Taketori Monogatari, with a famous for the character Princess Kaguya. And I read like a modern translation of that. Then I read the first 3 Harry Potters. This here is Bokura no Saite no Natsu, which is it was alright. Niju Sai, about this basically about the life of this girl. I enjoyed that as well. Hoshino Kakera. I'll give this an honorary mention of being quite good. I'm trying to think of the author because the author of this has done a lot of things. Wait, I'll try to find it. It's basically about Is this it? Yes, this here is it. You can't actually see it, but oh, there we go. But basically about like there's like this legend that the glass that is left behind after a car accident has like some supernatural power, and it's known as the Hoshino Kakura, the priestess of the stars. And there's a very like interesting tale about these 2 boys investigating this car accident scene and people, and some stuff kind of happened after that. We have the author of this one. Is it Kiyoshi something? Kiyoshi Matsu. Kiyoshi Shigematsu. As I understand, he's a very popular author, but I've only read that one book by him. Natsu no Niwa. I actually really enjoyed this one. This was about you'll see it has like the subtitle of The Friends, which is kind of weird. They've actually made a movie out of it, I think. Um, where is it? Can I find It's basically about actually let me just try to find it. Okay, here it actually has a Japanese Wikipedia page. Oh, it doesn't really tell you much. Mainly just looking for the title or the cover page. Oh, yeah, there we are. Sorta. Basically, it's about these three friends who one of them uh like returns from their grandmother's funeral, and all the friends kind of get like obsessed with death and whatnot, and the idea of death, and they want to like see a they want to see a dead body, and they basically start like kind of stalking this old man, waiting for him to die, and it goes into a lot of real, honestly, kind of sentimental places. This here was a Yari no Koshita, like Natsu no Shugudai or something like that. Natsuyasumi no Shugudai. I can't remember, but it was alright. I didn't really think too much of it though. Now, probably my favorite that I read pop so far is this Tsuki no Fune by Mori Eto. Um, it's basically about this. Try to find it. Here we are. Wait. It's basically about there's this girl who's like this friend who's friends with this fella who it kind of makes him out as if he's like a genius or something like that. But then like actually like as befriends him more, you sort of start to realize that he's kind of he's very paranoid. Like he's got some problems, and that's really all I'll say about it. But it's a really good. Honestly, it's, like I said, probably my favorite that I've read so far. I really enjoyed it. Then after that, I read Colorful, which is also by Mori Eto, and probably maybe her most famous thing because it was actually made into an anime film that I've not seen. Colorful. Yeah, like if I go just look up Colorful, first thing comes up is like the movie. Um, Karahur. Uh, this is the version that I have right here. It's basically about like there's this guy who I say guy, he's like a middle schooler or so who has recently died, and he like is in heaven or something in the afterlife, and this angel basically tells him that his soul will be transferred into someone who has would otherwise just have would have just died. Um, and so he's basically kind of like living. He basically gets to come back to life as this fella who had recently is like tried to commit suicide. And just trying to like see what this other fella's life was like, and it's also pretty good. But I preferred Skin of Fune to it. And the last one that I read was before I got into this kind of manga kick was a Poplar Tree. I don't think that's not the full title. I don't think. Popura no Ki. Honestly, I'm not sure what the thing was entirely called. But something about the poplar tree. There was like this girl who was like staying with her mother at like this old woman's boarding house or something. The poplar trees. That's definitely not it. Not sure. But those are the novels and whatnot that I've read. Ooh. And I would definitely recommend, my recommendations would be Tsukino Fune, very, very nice, and Natsu no Niwa, and possibly Hoshinoke. To rank them up to like 1, 2, 3, and then maybe tie for 4 will be Colorful and Nijusai. But like I said, I really enjoy them, and hopefully you will too if you check them out. But that is it for the video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I answered your questions. Post questions below. I'll answer them next week. Till next time, Liquid out.